Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Doc Prince, and welcome to Leaders Lounge. Go ahead and put a comment in the comment section to let me know that you're here. Go ahead and put a comment in the comment section. And once again, make sure that you have your drink ready. Everybody should have something relaxing, tasteful, delicious, ready to drink so that we can do our toast at the end of our session. All right. We're not going to be long, as you all already know. We're going to get to it, jump to it, and get this party started. All right. We want to get started with some wonderful wisdom principles. Okay. Let's see who's here. I see Sybil Gale. Good evening, Sybil. God bless you. Good to have you on. Always good to have you on. I see Mr. Colin Jones. Hey, what's going on, my little bro? Good evening, good evening. Good to see you, Colin. Welcome to Leaders Lounge. This will be your first time, so you should enjoy this. It should be fun for you. Good to have you on. And of course, my sister, Stacy English. God bless you, Stacy. Thank you. Good evening to you also. Good to have you on. And once again, tell me what you guys are drinking. I'd like to know. I have some OJ. All right. So let me know what you're drinking. I'd be curious. Last week we had, I think, a vanilla latte. Somebody was drinking that. Somebody was drinking a green tea. What are you guys drinking? Tell me. We're going to get started in just a moment. What are you drinking, Stacy? I'm curious. What do you have for this evening? Because I know you all relaxed. All right. Let's see. Let's go to some of the comments here. Colin says Jameson Orange on the rocks. Hey man, you gotta do as long as you are relaxed, as long as you're in the mood. That is a good thing. Great to have you on. Awesome. Sybil Gale, she has wine. What type of wine are you drinking? Is it red? Is it white? Is it sweet? Is it dry? Which one are you drinking? I'm curious. If you're a connoisseur, right? And then who is that? Lipton iced tea. Wow, you went way back. Like that's way back. That took me way back. And I'm sure you probably used the actual tea bag, right? The original tea bag with Lipton seal on it. I got you. That's awesome. Well, good. We're gonna go ahead and jump right on in and get started with this week's Leaders Lounge. All right. Love this. You guys are great. Love your input. Love your participation. All right. Listen, definitely want you to give comments. So as we're going through, if this is your first time, you can make comments as we're going through. I may respond to the comment if it's a question. If it's just something you want to say, that's fine. And then towards the end, once I've gone through the principles, we're going to do what's called, I'm going to review the comment section. And I'll go through the comment section. We'll talk about all of your comments. I want to know what you are learning. I want to know what you're getting out of it. And I have a response from Stacy English. She says, I love Lipton. I'm glad that you love Lipton. I love Lipton too. All right. It's just old school. That's all. It's just old school. And there's nothing wrong with old school. I love old school. All right. Because I'm old school. All right. So we're going to jump right into it. Let's go here. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Once again, thank you for being on. Uh, so, Prince Enterprises, simply put, for those of you who have been here, this will be reiteration. But for those of you that are new, Prince Enterprises LLC is a consulting company providing leadership development strategies for businesses, nonprofits, churches, groups, and individual. And our strategy is threefold. That is to identify, train, and release. What is it that we identify? We identify your essence, we train your actions, and release you in your purpose. So welcome to Leaders Lounge. We're going to talk about some of these principles today. And this one that I have for you today should be pretty exciting for you guys. How many of you, I'm going to ask a question, how many of you have worked a job previously where you felt you worked and and you were never appreciated for what you did? Yeah, I'm sure a few of you feel that way, right? You've worked that way, you worked. You were never acknowledged for the work that you did. There was never a celebration of your efforts. And so I see some comments already coming in. Let's see. Charlie, let's see, who do I have here? Colin says fact all day. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Simone Williams. Simone, my childhood friend from elementary school. Welcome. This is a wonderful, wonderful sister of mine. Um, she has so many skill sets. I can't even begin to talk about her experience and just some of the things she's done professionally. But what a joy to have her on. Good to have you on, Simone. I hope this encourages you and blesses you. Also, we have Charlene Barnes Booker. Hello, Charlene. Good to have you on. Long time no hear from. All right. But once again, we were just talking about this concept. How many of you have had a job? You worked a job, you never felt appreciated. There was never a reward for your actions. I tell you what, it just gets you down, right? You've worked in a negative environment, or you've been on the organization, say. The organization is so negative. Everybody has something. They're grumbling all day. They never have anything positive to say. Your leadership team, they don't recognize you. They don't recognize what you do. It's like, shut up, get back to work, do what you need to do. Let's get to the mission, right? That's not an exciting place to work in. And so with Leaders Lounge, this is for leaders, right? All of you that are here, you're leaders in your own right, right? Whether it's a business, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it is a ministry organization, right? Whether you're a leader of a family or a group, right? Whether you work with a specific team, whatever you do, right? Professionally, um, personally, you have to deal with people. And so, what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about this idea, right? This theme today. Our topic is going to be positive reinforcement, and this will be the first part that I'm going to get into positive reinforcement. So, of course, the question is, what is positive reinforcement? Right? So, let's define this very quickly. If you're taking notes, you can go ahead and screenshot the screen. If you want to write, you can write, but I always encourage just do a screenshot. It's a lot quicker. And plus, this video you will be able to review later. So if you don't want to take notes, you can just listen now, go back and review the video, and you can take notes then. All right. Positive reinforcement in operant conditioning involves the addition of a reinforcing stimulus following a behavior that makes it more likely that the behavior will occur again in the future. Let me read that again. Positive reinforcement in operant conditioning, we're going to define operant conditioning, involves the addition of a reinforcing stimulus following a behavior that makes it more likely that the behavior will occur again in the future. So let me give you a really, really simple explanation of that, right? An example of that would be you're training a dog, right? I know it's a bad analogy, but you'll get the point. It's short to the point. You're training a dog. And so you're teaching the dog's tricks, right? The dog learns a new trick. And every time the dog learns a trick, you say, yay, you give the dog a treat. The dog knows that as long as they perform the trick the way that they were taught, there will be a reward, right? For that action, for that behavior, right? For that performance. It's no different in a work environment. You want to, once again, I'm not using the analogy to say that human beings are dogs, but the principle of it is the same, right? That there is a reward for a positive action. Okay, so let's talk about operant conditioning. Okay? What is operant conditioning? Here's a definition. It's a method of learning that employs rewards and punishments for behavior. Through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence, whether negative or positive, just like I spoke about, right? As with your children, if your children display a negative behavior, you say, hey, you're supposed to share with Johnny in the sandbox. Michael decides he wants to pop Johnny upside the head, right? Because Johnny decided he wanted to play with his toy. And so he's using violence to say, hey, give me my toy back. That's not a healthy behavior, right? So you may have to say, Michael, that's fine. You're going to sit out. You're not going to play in the sandbox for 10 minutes, right? The purpose of that is to teach them how to share. The purpose of that is to teach Michael other options for socialization, right? Learn better social skills. And as children, They have to learn that. Do you know we're just overgrown children? We're adults, but we still operate the same way, right? Sometimes we have to be corrected. Sometimes we need this type of training to encourage us to move in a positive light and move in a positive way, right? So let me read that again. What is operant conditioning? It is a method of learning that employs rewards and punishments for behavior. Through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence, whether that's negative or positive. One of the things that we want to see, especially in the sense of the workplace, right? A professional space. If it's a business, if it's a corporation, if it's an organization, if it's a ministry, whatever the field is that you are in, if it's a hospital, whatever the field is that you're in, you want to be able to go to work and feel that what you do matters and that there is a recognition for the work that you do. Do you know that a happy employee is a productive employee? Huh? You know, we hear that saying, happy wife, happy life. There's a lot of truth to that. And all the women said, amen, right? And so we definitely want to make sure that we are following these basic principles. Let's get some responses on here. Let's see. I see Elder Deborah Foreman, my sister. God bless you. Can I just say to you, Elder Foreman, you were working that dress on Mother's Day and the hat. I just wanted to say that. That has nothing to do with what we're doing right now, but I just wanted to say that to you. You were killing the game. All right. You had it going on. Good to have you on. Let's see. Stacy English says, right. That's exactly right. That's exactly. Sybil Gale says, yes. Yes. Deborah Foreman, I see you jumped in. That's right. Colin jumped in. Very true and true. All right. Sybil Gale gave me an amen. And Stacy English gave me an amen on that also. Yes. So we want to encourage positive behaviors, right? It's important to encourage positive behavior. And how do you encourage positive behavior? You do that through what's called positive reinforcement. Okay. I am a certified trainer in what's called corrective thinking, which was developed by Raji Spoon back in 1995. It was based on research that was done by Dr. Yokelson when he was one of the premier criminal justice psychologists. He did some work, developed a book called The Criminal Mind, right? And in this book, it talks about the mindset of the criminal and equating that criminal behavior it's not based upon how you were raised. It's not based upon where you were born. It's not based upon the options that you had in life. Criminal behavior is based upon criminal thinking, right? And so there's this whole program called Criminal Thinking, developed by the True Thought Organization, that talks about irresponsible thinking produces irresponsible thinkings and irresponsible actions. If you can control the thinking, you can also control the behavior. Likewise, in relation to this is exactly what we are talking about when we're talking about operant conditioning. Remember that phrase, operant conditioning, as it relates and pertains specifically to positive reinforcement. I see some comments here. Let me get to the comments very quickly. Bless you, Doc Prince, and thank you. My sister, you're welcome. Listen, I have, okay, everybody, please grab your glasses, your cups, your mugs, whatever you're drinking. We're going to take a drink. I just want you, if you don't know who Elder Deborah Foreman is, friend her. By the time this program is over, go to her Facebook page so you can see visually the promised land, what I'm talking about. She is killing the game. I'm telling you. The hat and the dress, it's ridiculous. Okay. And the chain, she's got the big Chanel chain. I'm not even going to get into that. All right. I'm telling too much. But I'm going to toast to you right now. So let's take a toast to Elder Deborah Foreman. Baby, you got it going on. You were killing the game. All right. There you go. Let's go ahead. Y'all can take a drink on that. Ooh, that's good. All right. Bless you. All right. So here we go. What's one example of operant conditioning found in church? Ooh, that is a very, very good question. What is an example of operant conditioning in church? Now, Brian Tolbert, my brother, are you referring to that from a positive standpoint or a negative standpoint? I'm assuming you're referring to it from a positive standpoint, right? So here we go. Operant conditioning. You're in Bible study. You passed the test, right? Elder Carolyn, because we go to the same church. Elder Carolyn completes it. You complete the test, and at the end of the test, she gives you a reward. You get a gift card, and if you have the highest score, you get the highest amount of money on the gift card because you received the highest score. And so your score is also based. That is an example of operant conditioning, right? Which is all encompassing of positive reinforcement. If someone does something well, we want to honor that. We want to celebrate that. Why? Because we want to see that behavior continue, right? And as leaders, everyone on here is a leader. It is very important that you treat people fairly. It is very important that you rule with loving care and you don't do it with fear. You can be fair and firm all at the same time, right? You don't have to be pardon my French, Spanish, and Italian right now, but you don't have to be a butthead, right? You don't have to. People will respect you. And remember, we talked about this example when we were talking about leadership principles in our last session, right? We were talking about content being your person, right? So you teach and you lead out of your person, right? That's your essence. That's your character, right? That should speak more and more positively than you ruling in fear and getting people to do things to make them do something or to make them afraid. If you don't do this, you're going to lose your job. Come on, that's remedial, right? That's basic, and we don't operate that way, right? So we want to be of a mature mindset. We want to encourage people and do it in a very, very positive way and encourage positive reinforcement. I thank you for your statement, Brian Tolbert. Thank you. Your question, I appreciate that. We're going to get to some more comments very quickly as we're going through, just to see the responses. Positive reinforcement. All right, Stacy was responding. I see Elder Foreman was also responding to that. Terrell Johnson, Solo T, wonderful to have you on, Bishop. Great to have you on, Bishop Johnson. I love you, man. Great to have you. Great to have you on. I hope you caught some of the earlier teaching. If not, go back and watch it on the video. Awesome. Good evening, brother. Carlita Chandler, another wonderful friend of mine and sister from Texas. Good to see you, my sister. Good to have you on. All right. He says positive reinforcement. Yes. All right. He says sip, sip. Okay, good. I want to know what everybody's drinking. Make sure you got a good one. Okay. All right. Some people are relaxed. They're doing some good stuff. Some people are doing something a little bit stronger because they just got off work. Whatever your option is, no judgment. It's we all grown here, right? Okay. So let's see. Brian Tolbert says positive. Yes, sir. Okay. Awesome. That was in response to what I was talking about earlier. Sybil Gale, do both examples. Very good. All right. Here's a negative example, Sybil. So if you don't do this, do what I say. Otherwise, your job is on the line. That's a negative example. That's negative reinforcement, right? I'm still going to get the product. I'm still going to get the output. But the way that I get the output is not healthy. The way that I get the output causes you to be in fear. I want you to be an individual. I want you to be a master of your own universe. I don't want you to be a slave to me. That's not healthy, right? That's not productive. That's not productive, right? I hope that answers your question, Sybil. All right. Colin says we give what we call star cards for great work. Awesome. That's right. Because you're a therapist. That's the work that you do. Absolutely. And you work with children. And so absolutely. I like to say adults are just overgrown children. we all like the same thing, Colin. At the end of the day, if you give us some stars and some cash, a few dollars, we'll get excited and happy too. You can even feed us. We'll even respond the same way because we're just all overgrown kids. That's awesome, though. Thank you for your example. Colin's a good friend of mine. I've known him a long time. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful brother. All right. Terrell says yes. Carlita says blessing. Yes, yes, yes. Elder Foreman says yes. I always let my staff know that they are awesome teachers using positive reinforcement. That's right. You're in the educational system. You have a wonderful staff and team of teachers that do awesome work. I love how your students celebrated you a few weeks ago. That was so awesome. But once again, that's just a reflection of your leadership, right? Because you lead in love, right? You're very careful with that. Sybil has a question. She says, shouldn't we be careful with the usage of operant conditioning if based on performance? Well, once again, everything is in principle, right? Principle and concept. So it depends on how you're using it. If you are using it strictly in a positive way, right? So I'm using the purpose of this training today and this lesson is just to talk about operant conditioning in the context of positive, everybody say positive reinforcement. We are not encouraging negative reinforcement. That is not what this is about. That is not what I'm instructing today. That is not what I'm teaching today. So what I am sharing with you is in relation to positive reinforcement, right? Because we want people to be encouraged. We want them to be edified. We want them to be motivated. We want them to be independent in their thinking, right? We want them to use proper discernment and judgment. We want them to operate in trust and love, right? And we want them to know, listen, you're doing a great job. And because of that, I want to reward you for it. We're going to get to some examples in just a moment. Let me get through some more of these comments very quickly, since I have a lot of them coming in. Elder Foreman says, drinking some carrot ginger juice. Oh, that sounds really, really good. Oh, God, that sounds really good. I think I need some of that myself. I'm gonna have to try that next time I do my OJ. I'm gonna have to do that mix. That sounds really good. All right. Colin says positive reinforcement is a great factor to use, but at the same time, it can be a downfall depending on the employee. Absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, keep in mind, I'm talking about I'm using this as a system, right, of operation, right? So we know one size doesn't necessarily fit all, but at the same time it's principle, right? It's application. It's how you use this principle in the long run. That's what really matters. It's how you use it, right? It's not saying that, hey, if you do this, this is going to be a reward. A lot of times the person doesn't have to know that there is a reward coming, right? Positive reinforcement just says that there is an acknowledgement, there is an appreciation for what you do. It could be as simple as, hey, you did a great job. That's positive reinforcement. A compliment, that's positive reinforcement. You see what I'm saying? So it can be very simple, but that's a great point. I love the point. I love the point. Okay. Sybil, yes. All right. Solo T. What about the people that need that negative reinforcement to get things done? How do you handle that type of situation? Now, here's what's so funny. Sometimes, you know what they always say, you can catch more flies with honey and sugar than you can with the other, right? Um, Sometimes a person that's messing up, what you can do is you can encourage them in what they're doing good. And so you can start out. So you're a manager, supervisor, so you understand. You can say, hey, I need to talk to you. Hey, man, you're doing such and such great. This is awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate the work that you do. Now, there's something I need to talk to you about. I need to talk to you about this one situation. This process, you're not doing it right. I'm going to need you to, kind of clean up, because at the end of the day, if you do this, that's causing us to lose money, such and such and such. So we can't have that again. I just want you to know, if that happens again, once again, the responsibility is on you. I might have to dock your pay, okay, in doing that, if because it's going to be a cost to the company. I'm just creating a situation, right? But once again, notice what I'm doing. Notice my tone. Notice how I approach the individual. It's a very negative situation. But once again, everything is presentation. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's how you approach it. It's how you address it. And there are some situations, it doesn't matter how gracious you want to be. Sometimes it just turns out negative just because the person is defensive. But as much as we can, we want to make sure that the people that are on our team recognize and they know that we care about them, that we support them, right? And in some sense, I use this term loosely, that we love them. I say that loosely, right? Because our interaction professionally can be personable, right? It has a personal aspect. Doesn't necessarily mean they're necessarily in our inner circle, but we still have to have some type of personal interaction with them where we're relatable. It's communicable, right? And there's a point of commonality. Okay, great points. You guys are asking some great questions. All right. Simone says, I work with justice involved youth, so they earn diamonds for completion of their community service and improve grades. Absolutely. And you've been doing this nonprofit for, oh God, it's been, wow, it's been what, almost 25, 30 years, I want to say. It's been a long time. And it's been very productive. The data is there, the information is there, the fruit is there of your work. And the proof is the young ladies, they've gone on to college, they've gone on to establish careers for themselves. They've these the disenfranchised um, youth, at-risk youth that are now moving forward and being productive and doing things in society. Very positive. So kudos to you, Simone, for all the work that you do. Thank you, and thank you for being an example of positive reinforcement in the community that you work in. So thank you. All right. Positive reinforcement from Elder Foreman. How do we turn it for them to receive positive instead of negative reinforcement? I think we just went over that, and if I didn't, just catch me and remind. If I didn't make it clear, I think I made it clear. I think I exhausted your previous point, so I think I answered that already. If I didn't, once again, just let me know in the chat. All right. Stacy says, I intentionally show positive reinforcement to my staff. This has greatly improved required retention rates and the working environment. Absolutely. And, we were talking earlier today, and something that happened today where your staff came in and just decided that, bless you. I mean, they just wanted to tell you how much they appreciate you. But part of that, as I always say to you, Stacy, it's because of who you are. Because you lead with love, you show that you care. You are you're for them, and you constantly create an atmosphere of reinforcement, a positive reinforcement. So it's not a stressful atmosphere. So your staff, when they come to work, they love to come to work. They love coming by your office. They love talking to you. You know, a lot of managers, supervisors don't have that type of relationship. Once again, because you are responsible for the atmosphere that you're in. You create that as a leader. That's your job as a leader. You create that. Let me go. Let's go ahead and lift our glass to Stacy. Let's go ahead and give a drink to that for her. Great job, Stacy. Good job. All right. Elder Foreman says we want them to know that they have a voice. Absolutely. And they are of value. Absolutely. I agree. Sybil says that's good. I agree, Sim. I'm right there with you. Robert Young. Hey, good to have you on, Robert. Didn't know if you were going to make it tonight. It says, I remember giving students a card that said, caught doing good. Robert is a former principal. And so he's worked in the educational system also. So he has that experience. So once again, always encourage positive reinforcement, right? Because we want to see positive results. We want to see a motivated team, whether it's staff, employees, members, whatever you're involved in, right? Elder Foreman says that's true. I totally agree. Excellent. Collins says correct. We also have to put in the factor of everyone needs a different approach. Absolutely. We as leaders have to learn what works for our team, right? And so when I speak of positive reinforcement, once again, that could vary depending on the employee, right? So what may work for one may not work for another, right? So absolutely, I totally agree with what you said. Solo T says, awesome example. Awesome. Simone says 26 years and they are full diamonds. Absolutely. I knew I was close. 25, 30. I knew I was close. All right. All right. She says, thank you, and especially for your coaching. Absolutely. At my pleasure and my honor. I'm glad that I'm able to give you something to work with. All right. Um, Terrell, yes, you did. Sorry, that was an add on to the previous question. I got you. No problem, sir. All right. I like your emotion. All right. I'm drinking strawberry soda. Man, strawberry soda. Bro, I'm from New York. I haven't had strawberry soda in years. All right. I'm going to stop there because I can go on a whole commentary about strawberry soda. All right. But I appreciate that, man. All right. And Carlita says, yes, indeed. Great, great, great. So it looks like we've gone through all the comments. I don't have to go back to the comment section. Let's just do a quick review so everyone is on the same page. All right. So I'm going to very quickly go over this. Here is a definition. If you were not here early, I'm going to give it to you one more time. Positive reinforcement in operant conditioning. I'm going to define that for you again. Positive reinforcement in operant conditioning involves the addition of a reinforcing stimulus following a behavior that makes it more likely that the behavior will occur again in the future. Right. So what is operant conditioning? Operant conditioning is a method of learning that employs rewards and punishments for behavior. Through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence, whether negative or positive. I use the example of corrective thinking that began as criminal thinking back in 1995, of which I'm a certified trainer in. And it also encourages that process, right? Irresponsible thinking creates irresponsible feelings and irresponsible behavior. Responsible thinking creates responsible thinking, responsible feelings, and responsible behavior. And you hold them accountable based on their thinking, not their actions. Okay, let me give you 3 quick examples, all right, of positive reinforcement. All right, we talked about one. I'm going to give you another one just so that you guys have it. I'm going to give you 3. All right, so one of the things I talked about earlier was praise. So here's an example of praise. After you complete your gymnastics routine, your trainer says, great job. That's an example of positive reinforcement, right? Nothing elaborate, nothing over the top, but just a bunch of feel-good fuzzies, right? It's just praise, simple praise. You know, we love that. People love to receive praise. They love to know I did a good job. I did something well. And as leaders, all of you are leaders on here, you have the ability to do that. You have the power to do that by your words. Right? Monetary rewards. Here's an example. At work, you exceed this month's sales quota. So your boss gives you a bonus. Right? Positive reinforcement, self-explanatory. Here are other rewards that can be used. You complete 8 hours of overtime per your boss's request, and your boss rewards you with an additional wellness day along with overtime pay. That's an example of positive reinforcement. Any questions about positive reinforcements today? Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, for those of you that are new, this is your first time on, I ask everyone that's been on a program, I want you to do something for me. Go to Prince Enterprises LLC. If you type in at Facebook, just type it in, you'll see DPE LLC. Go straight to my site. You'll see the Media Partners questionnaire on my Facebook page. All right. So it's a QR code. All you got to do is take your phone, take a picture of it. Whoop, it'll come right up, fill it out, right, on your phone. I just want to know, which program did you watch? What did you get out of it? What would you like to see more of, right? And I always do seminars and workshops. So coming up here in the next month or so, I'm going to be doing a leadership workshop. It'll be a foundational leadership workshop. I will confirm the dates and let you all know. It will probably be on a Saturday, and it will be 4 consecutive Saturdays. But I will let you know, okay? So it's either going to be in June or July. but I will let you guys know and follow up with you. So if the majority of the people say, hey, June works better for me, we'll do it in June. If it's July, we'll do it in July. All right. I want to work with him, make sure everybody's able to make it. All right. And everybody's able to do it. Once again, for all of those sessions, whether they are a group session or a private session, I ask that you can send it very simply by Cash App, right? To pay for the session. You can send that to $DPE LLC for Doc Prince Enterprises. Okay. And at that time, I'll give you the rates and let you know what those quotes will be for that specific session per session, or you can pay it in bulk. If you pay it in bulk, it'll be a much cheaper rate as opposed to paying the individual sessions, right? And we can talk about that at that time. All right. Once again, for Doc Prince Enterprises, our strategy is to identify, train, and release. What are we identifying? We're identifying your essence. We're training you in your actions, releasing you in your purpose. Here are the final comments for the evening. Let's see what we have here. Stacy says, I intentionally show positive reinforcement to my staff. This has greatly improved required retention rates and the working environment. Absolutely. I think I went over that one already. I think I'm a little far back. Oh yeah, I'm a little far back. I apologize. I see it here. All right, I apologize. Here we go. Colin says, at Terrell, crush or Fanta. Colin wants to know if the strawberry soda you're drinking is Crush or Fanta. So please let him know. All right. You just took me way back, Colin. You're Elder Foreman. Oh my. All right, Stacy, great job. Thank you, Stacy. Elder Foreman, great training. Thank you so much. Listen, we will be back for part 2 of positive reinforcement next week. Okay. We're going to be here, same bat time, same bat channel. It will be at 7 p.m. Once again, my name is Doc Prince. This is Leaders Lounge. I'm so glad to have all you leaders on. And of course, before we leave, you already know what we got to do. Everybody raise your glass, get it up high, get it up high. All right. So we're going to take a drink. We're going to toast. And listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming out. I appreciate you guys sitting in. I appreciate you guys listening to the training. And once again, this is for you so that you can get all that you need to get out of it. So let's go ahead and lift our glass and say to the screen, I'll drink to that. That's good. All right. Thank you, everyone. God bless you guys. Have a great night. Be sure to like and share. Be sure to invite your friends to come on next week. We're going to have a great session next week. And we're only going to do up to 10, right? So I have 2 more sessions to go. And then that will end this season for Leadership Lounge. And we'll be starting another one in the fall, Leadership Lounge. So it's only going to be 10 initial sessions. Then the next season will be 10 new sessions. Okay, get ready for Kingdom Connection. That's going to be myself and Stacey English, life coach. All right, we're going to listen. That's going to be awesome at the end of May. You guys want to make sure you jump in on that. All right. Once again, my name is Doc Prince. This is Leadership Lounge. You guys have a great night. Woo. That's good.